Hi, I'm Luke Hornbury and this is Practical Skills of a Forest School Programme 1.4, demonstrate the safe checking, cleaning, maintenance and storage of hand tools in Forest School. So there's a few tools that we use in Forest School, some we use more than others, but we always have on hand a little kit that in this is a little maintenance kit. Basically we have WD-40, great for repelling water. We have a sharpening stone. We have a wire brush so we can get off any mud, sap or any debris that need removing. We have a screwdriver and we have a spanner. So very basic. So if we start off with our secateurs, we're going to check that the handles are safe. We're going to be checking that everything is as should be. The nut and bolt that go through, everything works, the spring is fine. So after we've used these, what we generally tend to do is we get the wire brush, we give it a little bit of a clean, a little bit of a brush, and if need be, we use our sharpening stone with a little bit of water and we just slightly rub it along the edge. Now with secateurs, we do a lot of the time need to fix things like the spring. So if I open this up, you can see we haven't got a spring. So we always have spares which we order off the internet. So all we're going to do here is going to pop our spring inside. We're going to pop it in like so, and now we have a spring loaded secateur. So going back to this set, once we've finished using secateur, what we like to do is spray a bit of WD-40 on a cloth, rub it along the blade, as this protects it from any sort of condensation. If it gets damp, the oil will repel it. Pardon me, fly in my mouth. So once we're done with them, we are going to pop it into our toolbox where it is kept safe in a lock cupboard. Let's move these ones out of the way. Now, one of the ones we use quite a lot that the children really love is the potato peeler. So before we use these, or before we put them away I should say, we're going to check that the blades are safe, the handles are intact, there's no bending, there's no damage to it, because we don't want any children to get hurt. What we do find with these is that the children will damage the blades quite often because they are not the strongest in the world. So again, what we like to do is order spares online. So we have one here which is damaged. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a new blade in. As simple as that. So that one is good to go for next time. So before we will use that next time, we will double check it to make sure it's safe, but we know that we have checked it already. So these will now go into its own box. Right, moving on. Wooden mallet. We use this for knocking in pegs. So the maintenance on this, we're going to make sure that the handles aren't split because it's wood. We're also going to make sure that the head is solid. There's no damage to the head. So the last thing we want, or we don't want, is for someone to hit a peg into the ground and it to break and injure someone. So really what we're going to do with this is we're just going to keep it in our box. Every time we use it, we're going to check that it's not loose. There's only two parts of this, is the head and the handle. Very easily to check over. Very easy to check over, I should say. So we put that in our toolbox. Now moving on to the loppers. With these loppers, what we're going to check is the handles are okay, they tighten, they extend they are locked in place. We're also going to check the nut and the bolt on here. So the spanner comes in handy if we have a bit of a loose nut. What we're going to do is we're going to tighten it, make sure all the parts are there, because we do not want it to have a bit of a gap in between, because then it will not be working to its best ability. So again, with this, at the end of the lesson, we want to take our wire brush. We're going to rub any dirt off, any mud, any sap off branches. And then we are going to spray it with, or should I say, we're going to spray the cloth with WD-40. We're going to rub it over the blade, because that is going to repel the moisture, and that was the word I was looking for before, which went straight out of my head. And again, with these, if we do need to sharpen it, all we are going to do is we're going to get the rubbing stone on the fine end, and we're just going to go across it smoothly and slowly. So I am happy that they are safe. We're going to close the handles back up, and we are going to place that in our toolbox, again where it is kept safe in a locked cupboard in our forest school room. So moving on, we have our folding pruning saw. With this, we're going to check the handle safe. There's no damage to the handle. Everything closes and opens as it should, locks in place. We're going to check the bolt and the nut. Everything is fine there. So once we have finished using this, again, we're going to get the wire brush. We are going to give it a good cleaning off on both sides, removing any debris, any sap, or anything that can cause it damage. Once we are happy with that, again, I am going to spray some WD-40 on our cloth. I'm going to rub the blade downwards away from the blade, the teeth, so we don't want to get them stuck. And again, this is going to repel any moisture that may come in contact with the blade. So we're going to close that up. We're going to lock that in our toolbox in a storage space in the forest school room. And now, one of our favourite tools is the flint and steel, the ferrocerium rod. But with these, we're going to check is they are safe. I've pulled one of our older ones out, which I'm going to use an example. It is very thin. This I don't deem as safe. So what we will do is I will remove that and we will dispose of that, because that isn't safe. So what I will do is I will put this in our disposable box. So everything gets locked away in storage cupboard in our forest school room in the school, and they are locked away safe from children and also from elements of the weather.